Ziko right here on Diaspora Connect. Also, when we talk about good things, we would love to hear from you. And don't forget, my WhatsApp number is on your screen. So make sure you are sending in those videos. Watu wa maju, send us those postcards. How is the new year rolling on? And pia kama uko hapa mtaani, manze, send us a video of your salams so that we can play it for all your loved ones from across the world. Also, when we're talking about across the world, I want us to go right now again to Ingia Ndege. And since it's 2026, and these are our first guests on the show, of course, we are going to travel somewhere for the first time again. Last year, we went to Syria for the first time, Azerbaijan for the first time. And this year is going to be no different. This year also, we are going to be stepping into new territories right here on Diaspora Connect. When I say stepping, I mean, you know, with our Diaspora family, na pia sisi, tuki ndani vilivyo. But right now, tuingie ndege, we go all the way to Botswana right now and speak to an amazing Kenyan who is not only, you know, making sure wase wametufeel huko to the fullest, but also peperusha your flag ya Kenya way high in the right kind of way, and I love it. So right now, I want us to say hi to this amazing Kenyan. Niaje bro, how are you, Isaac? Uko poa?
Niko sawa kabisa. Thank you so much. Good evening. How are you?
Us, we are best kabisa. How has your day been? What have you been up to? Uko area gani ya Botswana? Let us know.
I'm in Gaborone. I live in a farm, Sentane Farm, plot 90. It's about 10 kilometers from Gaborone city center. And I spend the day at the farm. I'm on partial leave. I operate from Kigali, Rwanda, but I'm currently at home in Botswana on leave. And I'm busy attending to my sheep and goats, chicken, and a little horticultural garden.
Oh, wow. That sounds so exciting. Talk to us about the journey of leaving Kenya, leaving everything you know. Umeacha smoky huku, umeacha chapati huku, ugali, and you went all the way to our neighbors and started off your life there. Talk to us about that and setting yourself up in somewhere different.
Well, interesting you take me back that route, but actually, the desire to come to Botswana was provoked by former President Moi when he returned to Kenya from the independence celebrations in Namibia. And at the airport, on his arrival, I was then a final student at Ruakabete campus. He challenged graduates to stop just looking at Kenya for work opportunities. And with a group of friends, some of them, if they're listening, know themselves, we started planning how to migrate. And going by his suggestion, we were looking at going to Namibia. But a friend of ours somehow convinced me that Botswana was a better place. And therefore, soon after graduating, on 17th of October 1990, I made my final plans, and 24th of November 1990, I boarded Air Botswana, which then used to operate direct flights to Nairobi, and came to Botswana, and I've not looked back.
Oh, wow.
So that's what happened.
What an inspiration kind of story. We've had so many stories about parents influencing way of life. We've never had one that was inspired by our former president right there. Also, do you remember a bit of culture shock? Because I'm sure you are used to one way of life right here in Kenya and then landing somewhere else. Do you remember instances where you were like, should I go back home? Or is the food, the weather? Talk to me about maybe moments of culture shock as you landed for the first time.
Not really, but perhaps two incidents I could share. Like I said, I got here on the 24th of November, 1990. That was summer. Okay, not exactly like the summers they have in Europe, but I was kind of summer in Botswana in Southern Africa. And the following morning, because I put up in a guest house, I woke up early enough, took a shower, dressed up, and prepared to go to church. I walked to where I had seen a church the previous day, and there was nobody. There were hardly any people in the street. And I wondered what's happening. Then I went back to the guest house. Unfortunately, I was all alone, so I had the key. And I looked at the clock, and it was only 5:30 in the morning. And then I realized what had happened. Back at home, I used to tell daybreak going by sunlight, but things were different here. Daybreak in summer would start much earlier. So that was perhaps the first shock. As for going back to Kenya, that was nowhere in my radar. Those days in 1990, we didn't have online ticketing. You used to get a hard copy ticket. And the first thing I did when I arrived in Botswana was to tear it up. And I said, it's do or die. If I don't make it here and afford to buy my ticket back home, this return ticket, I'm done with it. Second real cultural shock was greetings. In Nairobi and Kenya in general, greetings were a casual thing. And I walked into an office. I found people in the waiting room, my reception. I passed because I knew the office I was going to, the person I was going to see. He wasn't there. Then I got back to the reception and I started asking those people, have you seen so-and-so? And they just looked at me. And one man volunteered and he says to me, you passed us here. You did not greet us. So why do you want us to help you? And I got to know that greetings in Botswana are very important. Coming from a place where you can greet a person and be asked, what do you want? That was a bit of a shock. Other than that, Botswana Africans like East Africans, nothing much really.
Oh, wow. What a moment right there. Because to be honest, sometimes you can just, just bypass it, especially when it comes to greetings. But that was a lesson learned the hard way. But you've managed to stay there. You've managed to, build a name for yourself, represent Kenya to the fullest. How has it been like, especially, being between borders? How has it been like setting up businesses, working there? Has there been any challenges? And I'm sure there are Kenyans who are watching you right now who maybe have already booked that ticket or are on their way to Botswana. What would you tell them, especially as they are yearning to arrive somewhere new?
Well, I've been here for quite some time. 1990 to 2026 is a long way. I know for a record that officially I was the first Kenyan who came to Botswana to look for a job. Don't say that to anyone. That is true. And when I got here, it happened a week later. There was a cocktail hosted by a prominent Kenyan. He's still here. And it was announced that there was a new addition to the Kenyan community. Up until then, those who were known in the country were only 35, so I was the 36th. And that number included Kenyans married to foreigners, or foreigners married to Kenyans. They all counted. And it also happened those days in Botswana, there was a very serious gap in terms of skills. It was very easy. I got here on a Saturday, and by Monday afternoon, I had already secured a job, perhaps because of my previous experience with Price Waterhouse, but also perhaps because of my aggressiveness then. It's not there anymore. I walked into PM Golby office and I asked to see their managing partner. And the one who came in was told that there was a new investor and I was there with a very nice CV. And he took me to the boardroom and asked me, just Isaac, which estate do you want, which kind of sector do you want to invest in? And I told him, here, I'm the investment. And he looked at this little boy who was yet to turn 23. And he took me to the staff partner, who today is my neighbor. And I left there with an appointment letter. Things have since changed. And in any case, I worked for about 2 years for Golby, Deloitte, which later became Deloitte 2. Thereafter, I joined the government parastatal for 3 years. And I went into business. We started a little consulting business in an IT retail shop with my late wife, which We ran for about 15 years or so. And ultimately, my wings spread in consultancy, and I started getting consultancies outside Botswana. I have since worked in probably about 12 countries around the world, except the Americas. Mm-hmm. In terms of contribution to this country, I must admit that I have indeed I've recorded some milestones in the area that I work in, which is trade development.
Oh, wow, yes.
Together with a Kenyan.
I can imagine, as the 36th Kenyan to go there, I can imagine. Yes. And thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing with us those stories, because we know it's not easy going away from home, taking up new challenges. Sometimes there's fears here and there, but you're a living testimony of, conquering another land and, being there. As you've said, you've traveled from Rwanda, you've gone to Botswana, you're, just chilling and having a good time. And that is so good to see. And we love to see it right here on Diaspora Connect. And Isaac, before I love and leave you, able to tell me some of the things you do for fun, because you look like a fun person. If you're not on the farm, if you're not out there maybe walking around or going to church, what are some of the fun activities that you do with yourself or with others?
Really, my fun time is spent gardening and hosting. I like to host parties. I love to braai, what you'd call nyama choma back home. And that's basically it. Just spending time with the friends. I live alone in the farm. My children live away. So anytime I find somebody willing to visit me, I'm very keen to host them.
Yeah.
Other than that, I read. You can see I'm in my study. That's where I am. And I do a lot of, I think I spend most of my free time, if any, just studying, reading.
Okay, we appreciate that too. Reading, studying, hosting. And before we love and leave you, I'd love you to send out some salams to everybody who's watching you, especially from back home right here in the 254, because I'm sure you have loved ones who are watching you. Also, you can also send some salams to a few, of course, Kenyans who are, you've met around Botswana and Rwanda, and, in between your travels.
Well, thank you so much. Greetings from Kisarura to my family members. I know some of them stayed late. The Jambo family, Wainainas in Kenya, wherever they are. And in Botswana, I doubt there are many people who are watching here. But in Kenya, the few who know me. But I just wanted you to let me also explain what I do. I'm a trade development expert or consultant. And my work today is to unlock export competitiveness by linking managerial capabilities with market intelligence, focusing specifically on SMEs, small businesses. I say this because aligned to that, I also do a lot of project evaluation. So if you would want to know how your program is doing, we can do an evaluation to tell you this is how successful it has been, this is what is working, this is what is not working, this is what you need to do to tweak it. But yes, back to greetings. I'd like to tuma salams to my lovely kids. I know they may not be listening, but to my nephews and nieces, wherever you are, especially to Murugi, Victor, and Alan for your sterling performance in the results that were released yesterday. Congratulations. And may the good Lord lead you to even scale higher heights. To Jason, Nelson, John, and all your nephews, other nephews, you know yourselves, keep well. My brothers, Henry, if you manage to watch from Embu, Peter, Jimmy, I know you are my fan number one. I greet you all. And all my other friends, fans who might be watching.
Thank you very much, Isaac. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for pulling up on us. And before we leave you, Kisarura, is that a nickname? Is that the way guys know you? Talk to me about the nickname before we let you go, Isaac.
Well, Kisarura is a name I coined for myself when I was a student in Chania High School, where I did my Form 1 and part of Form 2. And those days in 1980, to survive as a Form 1 in Chania was a difficult thing. It was like perhaps today's equivalent of getting abducted. And we had this Form 4 student, I don't know whether he's still alive, called Getao from Ruiru, who used to walk around with Arura. And he assigned himself the responsibility of harassing me. So he told me whenever we meet, I should pay attention, salute, and say, Bombo, kiss the Rura. So that's how initially it was Kiss the Rura, and became Kisarura. I hated it, but eventually I thought, why not? Coming from a tribal country, use this as a name that defines you, different from everybody else. And that's how I got to be known as Kisarura.
Okay.
And I'm today Kisarura. The one and only. There's no other Kisarura.
1 in a million. Thank you very much, Isaac. We appreciate
there's no other Kisarura anywhere.
we can tell from the story. Asante sana. We'll let you get back to all your endeavors. Asante sana. Big salute to you. Tunakushukuru sana. We appreciate you. As you're saying, paka hadi tunapewa yani nicknames that tunapewa meanings. Thank you very much, Isaac, for the first time ever Diaspora Connect. Tumeingia Botswana na uzuri, and I love it. And that's what we do right here every Saturday from 10 p.m. till late. If it's connections you want, we got you. Kama ni representation to the fullest, iyo pia tumejistamp vizuri. So make sure you are also telling a few people about us. Immediately you unatutazama tu hivi, whether it's on YouTube, whether you're recapping this episode, ama unaiwatch live from YouTube, make sure you know you are our ambassador. Yes, hata wewe ambao uko nyumbani sahi, you automatically become our ambassador anytime you see us. So make sure you are telling people about us. Plus, I'm sure you know someone akoma juu. Kama ni ex, kama ni relative, kama ni former schoolmate, make sure you use our WhatsApp number on your screen. Write us a message. Tuambie ni aje, huyu na huyu tungependa kuconnect. I'd love to see. Make sure you come through so that we connect, because we are the #1 connecting show in the region. When we talk about connections, hatuwezi ongelelea connections bila mziki, because we speak so many languages right here on Diaspora Connect, including that musical kind of language. And right now, I have our amazing DJ Vera on the ones and twos. Nataka achezeka something ndio tuendelee vizuri. Vera, take it away. Take it away.